Welcome in. It is the local and community issues and answers. And today we're so thankful to have in the studio with us Pastor Jeff Lewis from Carmichael.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Carmichael Community Church in East Bernstead.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about a serious thing that happened, you know, the tragedy that happened in East Bernstead. Brother Jeff, there's still people that need our help, need our assistance.
Yes, they are. They're devastated. It's taken them, it's been a little over a week now, and they're just still coming to grips with what they've had to deal with. It's such a shock.
Right.
You know, not only do you lose everything, but just a shock to your mind. Where do I go? What do I do?
Right.
But it's been amazing that the communities and the counties that's came in, even other states. One school took their spring break and came down yesterday and going to spend an entire week just picking up and helping in any way they can. And so it's been an amazing outpour of churches that have laid down their names and denominations and come together and feeding them and clothing them and doing what they know to do to help. You know, you take a community and a county, which I think it was back in the early 90s when a tornado came through and hit Carnaby Square and around through there. But this was a little more surprising, a little more devastating.
Right.
Like I said earlier, it hit 315 homes in East Bernstead. East Bernstead is near the community that London or maybe even Lilly is. Oh. So 315 homes had some damage, if not complete damage, and people were still in their homes. 5 lost their lives.
Oh my goodness.
In the teens to probably 30, 40 was injured. And some of them are still fighting for their life in the hospital. And so this is the devastation that we have seen. We've had the honor, and I say that very, very cautiously and very carefully and not boastfully, but we've had the honor of being able to go out and serve these people and with food and to see what we can do. We've had quite a few contributions made to our church, and so we've taken that and clothed some of them. One lady we helped, she had lost her mother in the storm, and her sister's in critical care at UK Hospital. Oh my goodness. And she was right behind them in a trailer as well, her and her husband and 3 kids. And so she lost everything she had. And finally my wife Renee got up with her through the Resource Center of East Bernstead and asked the question, what can we do? What a question. You know?
Exactly.
What can we do? More than just let's pray for you, which that's most needed too. But you know, Jesus said faith without works is dead. Right. And so what can we do to help you? And here was her reply. She said, if I can just lay down a few minutes and take a hot bath, I would be ever so grateful. And so we was honored and able to put her in a motel for a few days. Another church has picked up after us and kept her there. And she didn't even have clothes to go to her mother's funeral. Lord have mercy. And so we was able to clothe her, and she went through her stuff. I was there Saturday and looked at it, just a pile of rubble. And she went through her mother's stuff, and she found one picture that she was able to show the people that would come and visit. And so these are some of the things that East Bernstead's dealing with that we never had to deal with before. The miracles in some of that, the young Jackson man who did not know that the tornadoes was coming and was still in his trailer, and how it blew him and his 2 children in his arms out. My goodness. And threw the little boy out from him. It knocked him out, the dad. And when he came up, his little boy was sitting on top of him, just patting him on the face and hollering, "Daddy." Oh. And he said, I promised my little girl, I promised her that I wouldn't let her go. But when I got knocked out, I lost her. And when we woke up, there was, she was nowhere to be found. And he said, I asked my little son, he said, where is she? And he said, Daddy, she's gone. Right. And he said, I just broke. And he said, I walked over to my sister's house, which was a few hundred yards behind them, and he said, when I walked in, there she stood.
Oh, well, thank the
And
Lord.
so what a miracle.
I tell you.
God always knows how to show up right on time.
Right on time. And you
Yeah.
know, this has been a devastating thing for the families and East Bernstein, for our whole community. And you know, and that's what the community is asking, how can we help? How can we get involved? Because people want to show love and they want to show compassion.
They do. It has been amazing, like I said earlier, of how the community's come out.
Right.
I think Saturday alone, we had over 2,000 volunteers come in there. And everybody wants to do it in haste. They want to do it while it's fresh on their mind. And that's good. Something we're trying to tell people.